Welcome to VRule. Today is Sunday, which means we are going to look at our Sunday slip, the different cards and things going down in price lately. Before we get into that, we got to talk about this. The Glaring Articuno tin from Crown Zenith going out to one lucky winner, one lucky subscriber, and two 3-pack blisters of Stellar Crown of Mystery Prize. That's right, we have 4 prizes going out to 4 winners. All you got to do is like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go over to this video here, leave an additional comment. If you've already done it, you're all set, but if you haven't, that's where you want to go, and leave a comment to be entered to win on the giveaway. Once we reach 2,500 subscribers, which we are very close, that's when that giveaway is going to take place. But today, we have some things to look at, so let's get into it. Here we have, from Stellar Crown, the most recent set, the Terrapagos, the chase of the set, the big one here. Really cool coloring, really cool design, very interesting Pokemon. And we're seeing that the price is coming down. Now, it's a short period of time, but it just kind of shows you a reminder to not go out there and FOMO, have a fear of missing out on these cards, because those early sales at $151, ridiculous compared to where it's at today, falling down to this $114 mark. And even looking here, just some recent sales, 128, 125, 110, 111, 113, 110. So it's like, is it starting to creep back up? Probably not. It's probably just people who are going for it because that's the best deal they could find at the time. And it depends. If you have a willingness to be patient, you're going to find a little bit better deals. So if you're looking at it and watching and seeing a bunch of these in the 110 range, and you see listings at 125, 128, don't be the one to start driving that price back up. You know, give it a day and come back and look. So you have your own opportunity to get one in a similar price bracket, that 110. Here we have 114 as that top listing, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's what it's going for here. Okay, in this case it is, because often it's not. So you just got to scroll down, take a look, pick the condition, make sure you know. At this price, I think buying from TCG players is a little risky, but that's just me here. Same set, Lacey, same trend, down. $40.50 is our current right now. I mean, compare this to like $100 in that FOMO range. Yikes, absolutely crazy. Squirtle, this one is one that a lot of people want, and it's been sitting around that $43 mark for a while, but is it really at that $43 mark? There's some listings coming in at that $38, $39. I don't know what this is about. That's $30 right there. And one sale, nothing happening. Okay, is it really safe to say you can go there? I don't know, because it's less than the Japanese counterpart, which is typically these days less expensive. So you need to take a look, because really right here you're getting a little bit better credentials and you're at the $40 range. So, you know, make sure you're paying attention. What do you like? What do you not like? What kind of price are you willing to do here? But the trend is down on these charts here. Bulbasaur is actually kind of leveling off in this $32 range, it looks like. Really great card. Now that it's kind of in that level off period, that's when I start to look at it a little bit more aggressively on a daily basis to see if there's a pickup price I want to go for. So my target would be, if I could find this at 30, I'd jump. But it's going to be close. We'll see. Garvantula EX here, a special illustration rare, under that Bulbasaur price, coming in at $31.50. Same kind of thing. This one is about to level off, it looks like, and maybe that's in a good range for pickups if you're going to go that route there. Hydrapple EX, I'm kind of glad this one's come down, because it seems to be one of the more interesting special illustration rares, even though it's a very simple setup here. It's this ripped up textured background with a pattern here. You have the different Pokemon surrounding it. The Flapple, I guess, is all around there, and then the big huge Hydrapple here. It's cool. It's got an interesting design, and it's kind of in a more appropriate price range, in my opinion, for what it is. We have Briar, same thing, Stellar Crown. Everything's just kind of falling down, or it's getting to that level out period. So under $30, coming in at $28, $29, something like that, yeah. And that's pretty decent. I thought this one was pretty good as far as artwork goes. I don't know about playability. I haven't really been paying attention too much on how these things would be playing in the TCG. Moving over to Twilight Masquerade, we have the Greninja EX, and yes, it is coming down a little bit, and even more so in the past few days. So I was somebody had pointed out that I was looking at it incorrectly before, and the price was really still high. I went back and checked, and I couldn't figure out what they were alluding to. I know the market price is considering other things, other conditions, other languages, and it's kind of pulling it down in certain directions. So I am fully aware of that, and I try to be considerate to that there. With something this big, I like to come and actually look at actual listings here. This one seems interesting to me because there's no other specification that it's Japanese or anything like that. $265. All right, again here with photos, $265. All right, we're in that range, $265. That seems to be the going price, not the $300 that people have been seeing. Not even this market price of $271, because we have the other languages filling in and bringing that price up a little bit, not entirely that much, but we have so many listings with pages and pages of listings, and we're passing in that 270 range. So I could see them easily going into the 300 or beyond, making that more of our median price in that $271 there. So very interesting, but that 265 range seems to be a potential option here. 265. I don't know if this is a market manipulation. 265, they all seem to be pretty spot on there, looking like that's where people are headed. But maybe that's where the market says it is, and in my opinion, it should. It should be pulling this price down a little bit. This is a little too hot for a card like this. It's cool. It is not $300 cool. I'm sorry, it's just not. If you want to argue that point, I'll take it. Tell me, put it in the comments. I have to argue myself in defending some of the cards I like or the ones I've pulled that I really want to retain the value, and they're not. Lugia V from Silver Tempest was one I had an internal struggle with, seeing it coming down and down. I'm like, oh man, come on, this thing has more value than that, right? But it doesn't. The market will tell us what it has. Carmine, same situation. We're coming down here, kind of getting that $85 range, even less here. Looks like not even $80. That's cool. Perrin, I was really excited to see this one coming down here because I felt like it was a little bit too inflated, floating around that $75 range for so long. And now we're coming down a bit here. This one had a photo, yes, in English, $62, $62.50. That's making more sense to me. That is making more sense. Eevee, this one is odd. I didn't understand what this was about. It did say that it was kind of trending down and everything, so I wanted to go and look at some recent sales and see where we're at here. $42.60. Why are you paying $60 if other people are paying $50 or $45? $45. Looks like this is a $45 card, folks. Like, don't go in and pay $60 if it's looking like a $45 card. You're kind of just hurting yourself there. I don't know what's going on with the chart, but you can dig in a little deeper and find more to it here. Blood Moon Ursaluna. I think Pokemon did a good job with this set, and then they kind of fell short on this card. For a special illustration rare with this Munchlax and Teddiursa and all these different Pokemon coming in here, Cutie Fly, is that what we got going on? There's a lot happening here, and it just seems like people are overlooking this one a lot and thinking that there's not a lot here, and I agree, there was really not a lot here, even though there's a big attempt to make it something. Maybe it's because it's also just monochromatic and drab. It's mostly brown, then you got the little bit of green, but it's very muted green. I don't know what it is, why this one just feels underwhelming for being a special illustration rare that has a lot happening. But I agree with that. I agree that it does seem underwhelming. So yeah, it's kind of in that level off period, it looks like. Let's stretch this out just a little bit. Yeah, we're kind of on the slight downtrend here in that $41 range. Let's knock these out. We don't have that many more to go here. Kieran, same kind of thing with the weird chart happening over here. So we come over here and look at the additional prices, dig a little deeper. Near mint, that's what I look for here. 32.5, 32.5, 32.5, 32.5, and specifically 32.48. That's an awkward number to have repeatedly and popping up again. Again, it kind of leads to questions of, is there a market manipulation on some of these things? I don't know. Can't say. It's very interesting that became the listed price on many that were coming through. I don't know. Very weird. $45. So these seem like a little bit of anomalies trying to push things up. I don't understand, but we're at like $33, people. $33 seems reasonable if you could find a listing on that. Don't be paying $45. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Paldea Evolved. Good set. Falling apart really on prices, considering how much hype this set got. And it wasn't just the Magikarp that got it there. The Iona was the chase for a while, and it pushed this set up for a bit. But it's been a pretty steady downtrend the whole way through there, coming around $60, probably less than that, 55. Look at that, 56. Yeah, you can do even better. Pheasantipity from Shrouded Fable. in my opinion, this was the set everybody passed on this year, and maybe I'm wrong. If anybody was going for it, I'd love to hear your story as to why you were going for it. What drew you in, other than the box art on the ETB? What drew you into this set here? $57 on this one. I think it's the chase of the set. I think that is the highest pull of the set at the current moment. Iron Crown Temporal Forces. This one shot up really early on when it first came out. You had your FOMO price, then we got down to like some in the 60s or something, and it seemed like maybe that would be where it would stay after that shoot up here in the 80s. And then, yeah, it's been coming under that in that $55 range. And now it kind of looks like this one would be worth picking up. I think we're in a good spot price-wise. It's a quite beautiful card. I do like the Iron Crown. I think it's a really good, interesting Pokemon, and Pokemon did a good job with the creation of that card there. Cassiopeia, Pokemon's underwhelming set of Shrouded Fable again. Here we go. $50. Good. When it came out, it was $200 for a day or two. Ridiculous. But $50, that makes sense. Artwork-wise, this is the chase of the set. It really is. Special illustration rare, Cassiopeia. There's a lot of layering, a lot of texturing, little cameos here happening, little Easter eggs within there. It's really interesting. I do enjoy the card itself. The artwork is good. However, you know, the price was just too insane for too long, and finally it's getting to some reality for what it is, for what it's worth out of that set. And I think it has room to go down, to be honest. I think it's just the rarity of it and how hard it is to actually get to bring that price down. But we'll see. So the supply is what's creating that price demand. Roaring Moon out of Paradox Rift. This one was hot for a while, and even shot up not too long ago. Yeah, back in May when we were doing all those alt art price hikes there. This one got up to almost $70, and now look at this fall off just this last month. Really, just kind of in the zone of being tanked here. It's $45. Wow. Garbodor EX, Paldean Fates. There's a handful of good cards out of Paldean Fates as far as artworks, as far as the look of them, and they're not easy to pull. So it makes for a good card to have in your collection if you're going with special illustration rares. And the price is coming down into a very reasonable range on this one, coming close to that $40 range. In fact, some of them are actually listed right there or just under. And I think that's a reasonable pickup for the card when we get down to it for this Paldean Fates card here. Paldea Evolved, we saw the hike back in May on this one as well, I think. And it was not a hike, it was a spike. Look at that. Shot right up, got to that $40 range. And there was some hype. A lot of other channels were actually pointing out how much they thought this was a beautiful card, and it was a good alternative to the alt arts that everybody was going crazy for. I remember that being the trend on some of the illustration rares. And then it just moved everybody over and started hiking all these illustration rares. And we've since recovered and leveled. And then even still in that past month and a half or so, we have actually come down from there almost to full recovery into that $16 range, coming in at like $21, $22. Pretty crazy. Miriam, now I don't like to tell people to go spend their money in the way they should do it. I like to inform them what's out there, and if they should be tracking it, if there's something that might be a good fit for their collection, then I'm putting it on their radar. That's all I'm trying to do, is trying to help you out, because a lot of these things are things that have been or were on my radar or are on my radar currently. I've got a couple of these, and now I'm kind of kicking myself. $20, that'd have been great. I think the highest I paid was $27, so I'm not hurting that bad. And long term, I think this one actually will do better. But I'm talking years long term. I don't know if this will stay at a $20 card for the next 5 years. I think it'll actually go up a little bit to have some nostalgia, some appreciation, some value, and being a piece of the entire set. This is a master set I have in Scarlet Violet base, but I think it's a really great pickup because it is Scarlet and Violet base. The base sets of eras typically do okay and then become very underwhelming very quickly because we get introduced to so much good stuff that it becomes thrown by the wayside. And then as years go by, people come back around and start appreciating what that set was and how it did set the tone for the era. And I think Scarlet and Violet base set, if you're going in to master it, and this is why I did, I'm not big on mastering sets right now because they're so big, they get pretty expensive. I wanted to master this set only because it's the set that's setting the tone for the illustration rare, the special illustration rare era. We have a whole new rarity system introduced in this era. We have so much artwork introduced in this era. And the benchmark for that, the one that set the standard, was Scarlet and Violet base. Pokemon did a good job with this set, and then they've only really improved from there. Yes, there have been shortcomings in Shrouded Fable. Yes, there are shortcomings in what I expect out of the hype versus reality for Surging Sparks. That's my opinion based on my video yesterday, if you were around to watch that. And if not, go check it out because it's an interesting take on this set and what we're about to see with that. But Scarlet and Violet base deserves the props, and if you can pick it up for, pennies on the dollar basically at this point, then it might be worth considering. But we've been seeing it's just a downward trend. It's not going into a level off. So I would watch it a little bit more actively if I were you, interested in this card, and seeing if it's something you want to pick up. It's still on the downward trend, so I would give it even more time. But you stretch this out, and it's coming under its norm 6 months ago. It's coming under its year ago or thereabout in that $25, $27 range. I mean, this is hitting an all-time low. So definitely worth keeping an eye on it. All right. As far as special illustration rares go, from Paldea Evolved, especially this set, just because it's not an easy set to complete. There's a lot of illustration rares making it harder, but the special illustration rares seem to be better in the price, and the artwork, you add the texture, they're awesome. Grusha, this one is one of the best artworks of the set, in my opinion, and it's under $10. That's a great pickup if you could do it there. And just out of the fact that this is one of the starters, Quackleval EX, Paldea Evolved, again, under $10, almost at $5. My gosh, it's just really coming down. And there's a lot happening here. There's a lot of good artwork here, and a special illustration rare to boot. So very interesting to seeing some of these things from the earlier Scarlet and Violet era sets that are coming down so much in price. A lot of things coming down in price. But let's bring it down all the way down to free. Free for you, at least, with the Galarian Articuno tin from Crown Zenith. Can't talk today. The 2 3-pack blisters from Stellar Crown, and a Pokemon Mystery Prize going out to 4 lucky winners. All you got to do is like, comment, and subscribe. Take a look in the description below. I show you exactly what to do and how to do it so you can be entered to win. And make sure you hit that bell, because I post 7 days a week. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.